Hello and welcome to Sonic Lore, History of Mobius. In my previous retelling of the Archie Sonic story, I told the story of Sonic's robot copy, Pseudo Sonic. Now, it's time to tell the origins of Sonic's encounter with his evil counterpart. Sonic's first adventure began when the Freedom Fighters saw the river being polluted by Robotnik's latest machine. Rotor said they needed Sonic's help, and Antoine wondered where he was. Sally didn't know where Sonic was either, so she used her signal watch to call him. Meanwhile, Sonic had just beaten Scratch and Grounder. He received a call from Sally and was informed about Robotnik's latest scheme. Sonic couldn't stand taking the long way back, so he decided to take a shortcut through the secret zone and onto the Cosmic Interstate to get to Robotropolis faster. Sonic traveled through the Cosmic Interstate, but he stopped once he reached a dead end. He turned around and took another lane. He kept running through the Cosmic Interstate until he found an exit. Sonic looked around his surroundings and recognized his current location as Mobius, but he noticed it was different. Sonic thought there was something wrong and ran to Knothole to see if Sally knew anything. When he arrived, he saw a veterinary clinic in place of the secret entrance to Knothole. Sonic entered the building and called out to his friends. When he went deeper inside the facility, he ran into Robotnik, taking care of a rabbit. Robotnik was surprised to see Sonic and ordered his animals to capture him. The animals surrounded Sonic, but he escaped by running out of a window and down the building. Before Sonic could get far, he bumped into a doppelganger of himself. The two ran around each other as Evil Sonic proclaimed that he was Sonic, but Sonic repeated the same thing. Sonic suddenly stopped, which caused his duplicate to bump into him. Evil Sonic asked Sonic what the problem was, but Sonic said he wanted to know himself. He told Evil Sonic about his trip through the Cosmic Interstate. Evil Sonic immediately understood what was going on and told Sonic to wait. He quickly came back with a board and drew the Cosmic Interstate on it. Evil Sonic explained that while anyone can go anywhere on the Cosmic Interstate, one could accidentally end up in a different universe. Sonic was confused by his double's explanation, so he told Sonic he was on Evil Mobius in the evil universe. Evil Sonic told Sonic about the origins of his versions of the Freedom Fighters and his goal to take down Robotnik's health clinic. The whole thing weirded out Sonic, but he was more concerned about the trouble his friends were facing in his universe. Sonic tried to run back home, but Evil Sonic tripped him and stated he was giving the orders. Meanwhile, the Freedom Fighters were worried about Sonic's whereabouts. They also worried about Robotnik's machine. Back on Evil Mobius, Evil Sonic claimed that he didn't run into people who could keep up with him and wanted to make the most out of it. Sonic tried to outrun him, but Evil Sonic caught up. Sonic ran across the world as he tried to escape from Evil Sonic, but his counterpart was almost as fast as he was. Sonic told Evil Sonic to stop chasing him, but Evil Sonic refused. Sonic knew he couldn't outrun his double, so he decided to lead Evil Sonic into Robotnik's clinic. He tricked Robotnik into sicking his animals on him. The animals tried capturing him, but he avoided them, and Evil Sonic was captured instead. Sonic revealed himself to Robotnik, which shocked him to see two Sonics. After Robotnik ran some tests on Sonic, he gave Sonic a device to help with his trouble back in his own universe. Sonic made it back home in time and used the device to suck up all of the goop that Robotnik's machine created. Robotnik's machine overloaded and blew up. Afterward, Sally kissed Sonic's cheek and he was happy about it. Sometime later, Sonic found himself in another situation when his friends were captured by Coconuts. Coconuts had tied up the Freedom Fighters and placed time bombs next to them. Sally exclaimed that Sonic would beat him, but Coconuts claimed that he would take Sonic down. Sally asked if Robotnik ever gave up, which irritated Coconuts, and he revealed that it wasn't his plan. Coconuts told Sally that he planned on moving up to the top of Robotnik's Badniks list. He recounted how long each Badnik lasted against Sonic in a fight, and claimed he would go the distance. Sally called him nuts, but Coconuts corrected her. Sally said that Sonic would deal with Coconuts, but Coconuts revealed to her that he made a maze to distract Sonic long enough for his time bombs to go off. While Sonic made his way through the maze, Sally couldn't help but be concerned by how late he was to rescue them. Rotor suddenly asked her where the guys ranked up on her top 10 in case they died. She simply answered that Sonic took all of the slots on her list. Suddenly, Sonic jumped in through the window and cut his friends free with his Sonic spin. Coconuts was confused about what happened and asked about his plan. That's when he remembered about the time bombs, but it was too late and they exploded. Sonic and his friends managed to escape in time, but Coconuts wasn't as fortunate. The next day, Sonic dropped off all of the swap bots he recently trashed at Robotnik's feet. Robotnik became annoyed at his constant defeats and kept repeating the word time. He then got the idea to build a time machine. While Robotnik laughed, Sonic thought that the tyrant had lost it. He went back to Knothole and was greeted by Tails. Sonic asked Tails where the rest of the group was. Tails told Sonic that Sally had something to show them on TV. When they got to Sally's room, they saw her crying over a soap opera. Sally heard Sonic and Tails enter her room and quickly changed the TV channel to the news. A SWATbot announced that Robotnik had created a giant chainsaw machine to cut down the forest. The SWATbot showed the chainsaw cutting down 50 acres, which horrified Sonic and co. Sonic became furious at the sight of Robotnik cutting down the trees and went to go stop him. A few seconds later, Sonic confronted Robotnik. He demanded that Robotnik get out of his mech and fight him. Robotnik said he couldn't hear him and told him to come closer. Once Sonic was close enough, Robotnik revealed that he was in range of his time machine and zapped Sonic with it. Sonic was sent hurtling backward through time until he was shot out of a portal. Sonic wondered where he currently was, and he noticed a shadow cast over him. Suddenly, a pterodactyl grabbed him. It told Sonic that he was in prehistoric Mobius and that it was going to eat him. Sonic used his Sonic spin to free himself from the pterodactyl, but he looked down and saw that he was about to fall into a T-Rex's mouth. Sonic saved himself by using his Sonic spin to slice apart all of the T-Rex's teeth. After Sonic landed on the ground, he got a surprise when he met a prehistoric hedgehog who looked like him. Sonic asked who he was, and the hedgehog introduced himself as Sonic the Boghog. Sonic asked why he wasn't called a hedgehog, and Sonic said it was because they didn't have hedges around the area. Sonic offered to show Sonic around the place and raced off at similar speeds to Sonic's. As Sonic and Sonic ran, Ivo Robotnik watched them from afar. He was surprised to see that there were two Sonics. However, he was determined to crush Sonic with his catapult. He told himself to fire on his command. He then launched a boulder at Sonic and Sonic. Meanwhile, Sonic had told Sonic about Robotnik, and Sonic was amazed to know that prehistoric Mobius was like his own time. Suddenly, everything got dark. Sonic questioned why it got dark so soon, but Sonic looked up and noticed a boulder coming from above. It looked like the boulder had crushed Sonic and Sonic, and Robotnik celebrated his victory. Back in Sonic's time, Robotnik was celebrating his victory over Sonic. Crabmeat came in and was shocked to see Robotnik breaking his own rules. Robotnik grabbed Crabmeat and ordered him to forget what he just witnessed. Crabmeat said he couldn't, so Robotnik smashed him into pieces. Robotnik then asked the SWATbot if they were set for the display of the time machine. The SWATbot told his master that they were ready. Robotnik was about to cut the ribbon to the display, but he asked the SWATbot why no one was around. The SWATbot was about to tell his master, but he asked Robotnik if he heard a noise. Robotnik was shocked to see the freedom fighters charging at him and determined to avenge Sonic. Back in the past, Sonic and Sonic managed to escape death by burrowing underground. Sonic praised Sonic for his idea, and Sonic said that he lived underground. He then had Sonic follow him to his place. When they arrived at Sonic's place, Sonic offered Sonic some food, but Sonic declined the offer. Sonic's friends then showed up, and Sonic was shocked to see that they looked exactly like his friends. He was happy to see everyone together and suggested that they go outside and get some food. Suddenly, everyone became frightened. Sonic told Sonic that he and his friends were scared of going outside and planned on digging further underground. Sonic was shocked to hear this and told Sonic that he had to go outside or else Sonic would evolve into a mole in the future. Sonic protested since there were many dangers outside, but Sonic said they would adapt and hide in the hedges. Salug didn't know what a hedge was, so Sonic took her outside to show her. Sonic took Salug to some bushes and showed everyone how to turn them into hedges. Sonic was amazed to see everyone happy and playing outside, and Sonic said that Sonic would thank him. When Sonic proclaimed that he and his friends would adapt, Sonic was suddenly pulled back into the time stream. He got shot out of a portal and fell face first on the ground. Sonic was surprised to see his friends next to him and asked them how he got back to his own time. Tails and Sally informed him about their raid on Robotnik's headquarters for the time machine. Back in the past, Salug and Sonic replant the bushes in different places. Sonic wished that Sonic would return so that he could personally thank him. Time passed, and Sonic found himself falling off a cliff when he took a shortcut through the mountains. He tried to grab onto something, but the cliff was too sheer. Sonic was about to fall to his death, but he luckily landed in a nest. Sonic wondered where he was, and that's when the nest's owner appeared and asked about Sonic's identity. Sonic was shocked to see an eagle before his very eyes. Cyril said that Sonic wouldn't fool him since he didn't look like an eagle. Sonic introduced himself and told Cyril that he accidentally fell into his nest while running from Robotnik's mechs. Cyril became angry when he heard Robotnik's name and ranted for a bit. Sonic said Cyril was correct and asked him how he escaped from Robotnik. Cyril told Sonic that he stayed safe by hiding in the mountains like a coward. He then introduced himself and stated he was once the leader of a large flock. However, all of them were captured, so Cyril gave up on flying. After hearing Cyril's tale, Sonic decided to stay and help him out. Meanwhile, Snively informed Robotnik that he was picking up a faint signal from the Mobian mountain. Robotnik was pleased to hear that there were still Mobians who weren't robots in the area. He ordered Snively to give him his Tyrolean hat, and he told him that they were heading into the mountain in his new vehicle, the Rambot. Later on, Sonic gave Cyril an encouraging speech that convinced him to try flying again. Cyril jumped off the mountain and flew for the first time in years. He was happy about it, but he accidentally fell. Cyril managed to land safely on a branch. He started to think about letting Robotnik turn him into a robot, but he heard someone call out his name. Cyril turned around and was shocked to see a group of fellow eagles. He thought he must be seeing things, but the group's mother told him they were previously part of Cyril's flock. One person said they were hiding, and the other said they thought that Robotnik had captured Cyril. Cyril loudly proclaimed that Robotnik would never catch him. Cyril then said he owed Sonic a great deal for helping him fly again and find his flock. Meanwhile, Sonic believed that Robotnik might have caught Cyril and was upset about it. Suddenly, he heard a voice come from out of nowhere. He turned around and was surprised to see that it was Robotnik. While Robotnik was making jokes, Snively tried to warn him. Robotnik dismissed Snively and asked Sonic about how many people were in the area and where they were located. Sonic refused to tell Robotnik and insulted his outfit. Robotnik became angered by the insult and knocked Sonic off the cliff with his rambot. Luckily, Cyril flew in and saved Sonic. Robotnik shouted at Snively about what just happened. Snively warned him about shouting and pointed out that the cliff they were on couldn't support the weight of the rambot. Soon afterward, Cyril thanked Sonic and offered to drop him off anywhere he wanted. Sonic told Cyril to drop him off at Knothole. After Sonic was dropped off at Knothole, Cyril and his group flew back home. Sonic's last adventure started with him rescuing two animals from some swap bots. Sonic became annoyed that Robotnik had sent his robots to capture the forest animals again. When he met up with his friends, Sally and Rotor told him that someone was stuck in a tree and refused to come down. Sonic decided to rescue whoever it was and ran up the tree. When Sonic reached the top, he met a Lynx. Sonic warned him about the swap bots, but the Lynx said he didn't care since he was used to bad luck. He introduced himself as Larry Lynx, the Super Jinx. and stated that he brought misfortune to everyone he's met. Sonic refused to believe Larry and wanted to bring him back to Knothole. He suddenly heard a noise, and that's when the tree branch they were sitting on broke off. Sonic and Larry landed safely on the ground, but the tree branch fell on top of the freedom fighters. Almost everyone suffered crippling injuries from the incident. Sally told Sonic that she refused to let Larry into Knothole since he was a jinx and could cause the downfall of the freedom fighters. She then told him that he needed to find another place for Larry to hide. Sonic tried talking with Sally, but Larry said she was right and that Sonic should get away from him. Sonic refused to leave Larry, but he suddenly got buried under a bunch of apples. Later on, Sonic tried cheering Larry up while walking him to a safe cave to hide in. Larry turned around and yelled for Sonic to look ahead of him. Sonic was shocked to see that some SWAT bots had captured his friends. Larry asked Sonic about what was around their necks. Sonic informed Larry that they were wearing steel collars held together by a magnetic field and controlled by the lead robot. Larry figured the situation was his fault, but Sonic told him that they should use his bad luck to their advantage. Sonic sent Larry out to the SWAT bots, making Larry think that Sonic had given up on him. The SWAT bots tried to capture Larry, but they crashed into each other instead. The lead SWAT bot attempted to stun him with its magnetizer, but he missed and the magnetizer hit him instead, causing him to drop the controls to the collars. Sonic caught the controls, but Robotnik suddenly appeared. He tried to run Sonic over with his vehicle, but Larry ran in front of Sonic to protect him. Robotnik's vehicle suddenly swerved out of control and crashed into a hill. Sonic proclaimed that his plan for Larry worked. He then told Larry that his bad luck was over and he knew how to prove it. Everyone went back to Knothole and Larry had won 50 games of chess in a row. And that's it for this part of Sonic Lore, History of Mobius. If you liked this video, then please sub, comment, and like for more. Thank you.